Hey, do you suffer from arthritis in your hands and fingers? Do you suffer every day whenever you have to go grab things like turning on faucets to start the day in the morning, pouring a cup of coffee, being able to grab spoons and utensils or turn knobs? It is so frustrating when you can't even just grab a pen or a pencil and write the way you used to because your fingers are so bothersome. The joints get swollen, it hurts to bend them or straighten them out all the way. And it's just frustrating to deal with. It feels like there's nothing that's going to make it better, and it just keeps getting worse because you use your hands all day long. Well, I'm going to explain how this happens, and I'm going to explain why you should not be stretching. And I've got another video coming out soon talking about what exercise you need to be doing to begin fixing your hand and finger arthritis problem. My name is Dr. David Minoff, and I'm a specialist physical therapist at Paso Manual Physical Therapy. And this channel is focused on helping people stay healthy, active, and mobile while avoiding an unnecessary surgery, unnecessary injections, and pain medications. Please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of the helpful videos we upload every single week. Well, let's get on to it. Let me show you this picture that I drew about hand arthritis and finger arthritis. So how does it happen? I need you to just get oriented first to the bones in the hand. So down here you have the forearm bones. Here's the wrist area. You have the little bones. They're called carpal bones. There's a bunch of them in there. And then you have the metacarpals, this first row of long bones. And after that, you have the actual finger bones and joints, which we call the phalanges. Now I've zoomed in right here to the first finger so that you can see some muscle attachments, tendon attachments really. So here's the first metacarpal, that's this bone, and then you have the three fingers, the three bones on top of that. And what you need to understand here is there's an imbalance that occurs. Let me just get a little closer to explain this here. So in blue here is a tendon that connects to the base of this first bone right here. It's this bone in your hand right there. Then you've got a separate muscle that sends a tendon into the second bone and a separate one that sends it into the third bone. For reference, for those of you nerds out there that actually know the muscle names, this is flexor digitorum profundus, flexor digitorum superficialis, and this is the lumbrical muscles. And there's more than this. I'm giving you a very simple picture of the muscles in the finger just to explain. Well, what you've got to know is that each of these muscles controls a different joint in a finger. And you've got similar muscles in your four long fingers, and you've got some other muscles that act similarly in your thumb as well. Well, if you think about the way that you use your hand and the way the hand is designed and built, and you don't have to know medical stuff or understand, the ins and outs of hand mechanics because it's its own specialty. You don't have to understand all that. Just simply put, if we're talking about a finger, because this is a common joint right here that people get arthritis in, also the one out here, or any of the other joints in these two fingers. You've got one muscle that, I'm keeping it simple here, there's more, but just for simplicity's sake, you've got one muscle that bends this knuckle, then you've got another muscle that bends this knuckle right here, and another one that bends this knuckle. So when you go to grab anything, all those muscles work together in order for you to wrap your fingers around whatever it is that you're grabbing, or to holding your fingertips, whatever it is that you need to grab with your fingertips. If you are in the habit of not using one of those muscles as much as the rest of the muscles over time, as we age, especially as we get into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, we develop a muscle imbalance. So going back to this picture, if you have been really good about using your fingertips, especially if you write a lot, if you write with your hands, then you're going to be strongest in the muscle that bends the fingertip, because that's the one that's going to be used to grab things in all your fingers, which means that you're probably going to be weakest relatively in the muscle that bends the bottom joint and possibly the one that bends the middle joint. If that happens, look at the lines that are colored here, the red, the purple, and the blue. If you're strongest in the red one, it's going to put excessive pressure because of the line of pull in this joint and this joint. And if you don't have good strength from the other ones, then it doesn't balance out the forces going through the joint. You have inappropriate forces going through joints in the area. If you have more equal strength from all the different muscles that bend each of the knuckles, then you're going to proportionally disperse the forces through each of the joints in your finger and keep the joint healthy, because that's how it's designed to be. But if you're dominant with one muscle group that bends one finger, then you're going to get more pressure in certain joints and others, and eventually develop some arthritis problem. So now you have to ask some different questions about how to get this better, because if it's a muscle imbalance, meaning certain muscles are stronger, and we've only talked about the muscles that bend your finger and close your hand, not the ones that open. Really, we don't need to worry about those too much. Your hand is designed to generate the most force closing, not opening. A good analogy that I like to give, as a kid, I was always a science nerd. I loved watching the Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter. I was just fascinated that somebody was so brave to be able to go wrestle an alligator and get on top of it. No tools, no straps, no nothing. And he would just grab that alligator's jaw shut and control it. And he would narrate the whole time and talk about, all the different cool things, cool facts about alligators. It was just incredible to watch. I think everybody enjoyed that guy. I'm so sad that he's not with us anymore. But one thing that I'll never forget that I learned from Steve Irwin was, he said alligators' muscles in their jaw are very weak at closing, because that's where they're grabbing things. That's how they're eating. They're closing their jaw, and they have to not let go of whatever animal they're trying to eat, because that's how they survive. But the muscles that the alligator has to open their jaw are not that strong. In fact, they're so weak that he could hold them shut with his bare hands, and he could overpower that alligator's jaw opening muscles. It's the same thing in your hand. Your muscles that open your hand are not supposed to be equally strong as the ones that close your hand, because your hand doesn't operate open very much. It grabs things, it holds on to things. That's how it's built. The problem with hand arthritis and finger arthritis, and I've been talking about the finger, but this affects the arthritis that happens near the wrist and in the palm of the hand as well, because that does happen, especially near the thumb area, side of the hand right here. The muscles that close the fingers, especially the ones that close this way, tend to get weakest, and that causes the imbalance that puts the inappropriate pressures into the hand. So a lot of healthcare professionals will tell people to stretch their hands to go this way, or they'll put rubber bands, or there's little devices and contraptions out there where they work on opening the fingers. And if you've had a surgery, or if you've got a lot of loss of motion in one of your fingers or wrist, then that might be good to do for a time. But once you can open your hand and close your hand through the full range of motion, then you don't need to strengthen that hand very much, because it's kind of like telling the alligator to strengthen its muscles to open its jaw, when it doesn't matter. As long as that alligator can open its mouth all the way and safely get there without pain, that alligator should be okay. As long as it can close its jaw, it's going to survive and eat and do whatever it needs to do. Same thing with your hand. If you have the full range of motion to open your hand all the way, it doesn't really bother you. You've got pretty equal motion. Your fingers should extend past your hand just a bit. So not everybody, that's more typical, but if your hands go at least completely flat, you're good. And the most important thing to worry about is that you can grab and all your knuckles bend. Let me show you what I mean. If you're grabbing a handle of some sort, I just have this Sharpie here. If you go to grab it, you should be not grabbing like this, because then you're not using these knuckles right here, which means you're not using the muscles in that area. You need to be grabbing with the whole knuckles. It's not a problem with small things like this, and light things that fit in your hand. But when you're grabbing items that are bigger or heavier, what tends to happen is, especially if it's hanging down, your hand strength gives up. And pay attention closely next time you pick up that heavy basket of laundry, or if you're moving furniture or moving heavy items around your home, or if you exercise and you lift weights or grab any handles in the gym, that handle should be in the palm of your hand with your fingers wrapped around it. If it tends to slide off the palm and hang more in your fingers like this, then you are not using the joints and the muscles in the knuckles here, which means those are getting weak. And you're strengthening the joints and muscles that bend the tips of your fingers, which means you're developing an imbalance. So you need to practice getting that bar, that handle, whatever it is you're grabbing, in the palm of your hand. Use a palmar grip, as I tell my patients. Make sure that you clasp with your palm. Use your palm. Think about using your palm more and more. And that's a simple way to begin to reverse the imbalance that you've got in your hand. There's some strengthening exercises that we'll talk about in another video. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already so that you can catch that video. If you thought this video was helpful for you, please give us a thumbs up and ask questions. Leave us a comment if you're concerned about anything. We get questions about the hand all the time, and strengthening it is pretty straightforward. Understanding the problems behind it, this imbalance that I'm telling you about, is a little more challenging for people to wrap their head around. But once you've got it, then things just click and you can really begin to reverse swollen joints in the hand and the fingers, and reverse arthritis, or at least keep it from getting worse if it hasn't gotten bad enough yet. I wish you the best of luck in your hand journey, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.